Is this simply a step too far? 15 out of 16 claims, utterly bogus, and the lawyer's response is, well, let's forget about that. But while we're at it, you've got to take in another 100,000.
No, absolutely. And mine, I'd make the point. I think that there'd be many British people who'd be supportive of the idea of Afghans who have genuinely deep links with serving alongside the British Army during the UK's military involvement in Afghanistan to be provided sanctuary on the grounds that they pass their own security and background checks under a well-regimented system, certainly not one of a process of resettlement which is carried out in secret. But what we're talking about here is something quite remarkable. Now, this list of 100,000 Afghans, it's been reported in the Telegraph that for every one genuine claimant, 15 claims are bogus. Yet we have lawyers who are saying that they may well use ECHR provisions to ultimately fight the case for Afghans to be resettled in the UK, even if they have no connections with Britain, or connections which are spurious at best. And I think there'd be many people who'd find that deeply worrying, and they'd find that to be a grave injustice in itself.
Well, Dr. Rakib Ehsan, that draws the obvious conclusion. If 15 out of 16 are bogus, and yet these lawyers think we should take them in, they seem to be utilising international treaties to force Britain to take bogus claimants.
Well, I think this is the point here. I think that our human rights architecture in the UK is simply not fit for purpose, because I believe that at the heart of our human rights framework should be the safety and security of UK citizens. And I think that another problem that we have here is that while I don't like the fact that the UK is a member state of a supranational foreign court based in Strasbourg, we have a very serious problem here within our own judiciary, where I feel that UK judges all too often, they ultimately prioritise the rights of foreign nationals, including those who have broken the law, over the collective security of UK citizens. So what I argued for in today's piece in the Telegraph is that we need to reform our human rights architecture. That includes a radical reform of the Human Rights Act, which encourages UK judges to make rulings which are compatible with the European Convention on Human Rights. And we also need to curb the judicial review process. Otherwise, you won't have meaningful national sovereignty when it comes to immigration and asylum. And all too often, you'll ultimately have unelected judges undercutting the decisions of a democratically elected UK government. But crucially, we have to make this point, Martin, is that this would need this kind of major constitutional reform. It needs significant political willpower. And there are far too many people in the UK Parliament at the moment. They prioritise their own legal background, and I think that does include the Prime Minister, over prioritising the mainstream preferences of the British electorate when it comes to matters of immigration and asylum.